Hi, I'm Daniel Benson, editor of Cyclingnews.com, and with me today we have Alex Dowsett from Team Sky.
Hey.
With the Nationals coming up, the time trial, how big a goal is that for you? A couple of riders perhaps might not be there with the Vuelta being a bigger goal for them.
The National Time Trial has always been a big one for me. I've won the junior one and the under-23 one a couple of times, so I mean, for sure, to have the draw of having the jersey next year would be massive. Yeah, and then when I heard that Brad was going to give the Vuelta a good go, then it sort of ups the incentive a little bit more. I mean, I think if I'm on absolute top form, I could get close to him, maybe. But then for sure there'll be, it won't be easy. Geraint, maybe Chris Froome there, Stannard. And also there's a lot of good British guys. Time trialling so big in England, people like Michael Hutchinson there.
And do you look as far ahead as the Olympics?
Yes, and that's the beauty of being in Team Sky, is everything, my whole programme has been tailored with the Olympics in mind. So the majority of the stage races I do have time trials in, just for experience of racing at that level. So I think next year there's the possibility of the Giro being a Grand Tour for me, as there's enough time between that and the Olympics for me to recover. If I want to do the time trial, I'll have to be in the road race team as well. If I went for the time trial, I'd be going as I think an outside chance of a medal, but more as a young rider for experience as well. Whereas Cavendish, he's an absolute outright favourite for the gold medal in the road race, so the team will be tailored around him. So I think I've also got to show that I can be willing to work, a good lead out man, and a key part of the road race team, as well as having a good time trial in me. How
much support do you get from within Sky looking at goals like the Olympics?
It's massive. Sky see the Olympics as big as the Tour. So to have Brad and Geraint there, you hear about their Olympic results as much as you do their road race results. And with the collaboration between Sky and British Cycling as well, it just makes everything will be tailored. Let's
talk a bit about how you ended up at Sky. Obviously, it's your first pro contract, but the year before you rode with the Trek Livestrong team. So how did that transition from Trek Livestrong to Team Sky come about? The
place was actually set up for Joe Perrott, who won the Junior European Championships. The guy who formed the Glendine Junior team got in touch with, he sort of knew a few people, got in touch with Axel and talked about Joe, and then just on the off chance mentioned me. And I spoke to Axel, this was before World Championships in 2009, and Axel said, we're going to have to do something in Worlds to get a team. I'd won one Premier Calendar and hadn't done much in Italy, so it was sort of a do or die thing in the Worlds. Luckily I had a really good ride, got 7th and got a place on Livestrong.
So Team Sky's got a lot of very experienced riders on board. Is there anyone in particular that's taken you under their wing?
Jeremy Hunt, Russ Downing. I think I've been in a lot of the races with them. So I mean, there's some guy I haven't raced with, Simon Gerrans once this year, or Chris Sutton. So, but no, race with them guys a lot. I've learned a hell of a lot off of them. It's nice because quite often in a lead out, you get on the front. I remember Pete Kenner was, he was brilliant in, I think it was Castilla Leon. We had a lead out and Froome had dropped me off a little early. He overshot a roundabout, so I had to take up my turn earlier than what was before. And I've had a habit of going far too hard too early and then dying off earlier than I should have done. So Pete's behind me just shouting like, pace it, Dowsett, pace it. I think he shouted, treat it like a time trial, while sitting on my wheel. So no one's scared to say to you like, you've done this wrong, but they'll also say you've done this really well. So I've learned a lot, and I'm not afraid to ask, and it's a good environment to be a part of.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
In 5 years' time, I'd like to say I've completed at least one Tour de France, and well, hopefully lining up for sort of shot at winning the time trial at Rio Olympics as well. I think that'd be a big target. I think London, the time trial there is a little early to be thinking about winning it. Obviously, I'll give it my all, but when you got sort of likes of Cancellara and sort of Tony Martin, it could be. I think it's a little bit too much of an ask this soon. So yeah, I'd say there, and still at Team Sky, I hope.